Hey everyone, Brian Castagna here. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer at Seven Bridges Genomics, and we are a precision medicine technology company in Boston, Massachusetts. I've been working with Macronet Services for about 2 years now, and it's been great. It's been really awesome. So, for my particular needs as a CISO, I'm looking for someone that's going to be able to help me navigate the challenges that you have within the vendor management space. I mean, we've got all different types of security technology that we look at, and it's a challenge based upon the risks and the threats that we have. And the things that I've been doing with Macronet has provided both sort of this deep technical expertise that they have, but they've aligned it with the things that I need to think about from a business perspective. The time it's going to take to deploy, the cost associated with it. And we've been able to make really good business decisions around the things that we're doing that align with my needs. And I'll give 2 examples. Because we are very regulated in the space that we're in, dealing with genomic data, we have a requirement for our US federal government customers for FedRAMP, which is a US federal government compliance certification. And we've been working with Macronet on 2 different products. Zscaler is one of them, and it's a zero trust access solution that we needed for FedRAMP in conjunction with some of the FIPS requirements and a YubiKey. And Gary and the Macronet team, helped us figure that out, helped us navigate the vendor relationship. And we were able to do what we needed to do there to get that zero trust access in place. Second example is with CrowdStrike, which we needed both from a security and a compliance perspective, and particularly some of their threat intelligence and the things that they're doing there, as well as endpoint security. And that's been great as well. And it's helped us bring better security value to our organization, as well as from a compliance side. So it's been a great working relationship, and I'm excited to have it continue going forward.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Brian. I think one of the things we try to really emphasize with customers, because we have a deep technical background, it's balancing, delivering the right solution with increased functionality, but lowering OPEX as much as possible, ensuring that you have good cost governance and customer success. What are some of the things that you look for within your vendor relationships, whether it's, how they pay attention to details and kind of interact with your organization and your individual contributors? What do you look for? Because you're obviously probably receiving a lot of requests for your time. So yeah. How do folks better work with you and your organization?
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult because different vendors have sort of different approaches. You're talking with different levels of expertise, whether it's more of a junior salesperson or someone that's senior and that's more of a solutions architect. And having Macronet help us normalize those conversations, because we don't have time in security. It's hard. It's still really hard. So having the ability to have you guys help us figure out those solutions, and to do it in a way that I can go back to my CFO and say, hey, here are the different options that we have. We've been working with Macronet. We've been working with this vendor with them, and we're able to really figure out what's the best solution. What's the best solution for the cost that's going to get us what we really need.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the kind words. I think what we've really enjoyed as part of the partnership is you giving us the guideline of, hey, here's the minimum data sets we need. Here's what's non-negotiable. Like you mentioned FedRAMP, like it has to be FedRAMP certified. And that's a little bit more difficult, I think, for a lot of organizations that have not worked in that space. So, that was helpful for us because we're very black and white when it comes to that. Like you cannot have any area of failure and losing set of details, because we know that you're counting on us and the organization itself that you're contracting with to provide those services. And what are you seeing, like, as the industry constantly changes on a daily, really per minute basis, or especially in security, where do you think the industry is kind of headed, especially within your vertical? As you're talking to peers and then you're just kind of analyzing the industry itself. I'd love to hear more about what you feel will come down the pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's more of this shift left mentality, and the way that security programs have been run historically is too much manual work, not enough funding, throwing people at it. So a lot of the conversations that I've had, within both the venture capital community is that shifting left. And whether that's more automation within the CI/CD pipeline, whether that's figuring out better ways to take threat data and alerting and sort of have more of an automated SOC, or sort of a next-gen MSSP model. There's a lot of really interesting technology out there that is going to help us get over the hump. Because I think if you see in the news or you talk to a lot of CISOs today, it's still a huge challenge, right? It's a massive, massive challenge. So finding the right technology that's going to fit into your budget, which is never as big as you want, is really critical for us. It's super important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. It's the same thing we hear with a lot of your peers. And it's funny because now that, we're still in a hybrid work from home mentality, trying to convey the security concern and potential threats just in a home network. I mean, if you think about all the devices that are connected, that especially if you're an organization that's not really taking that seriously, I mean, you're basically opening up, potential issues. And so do you see in the industry that as, across other organizations and peers that you're talking to, like one of the challenges that they're really trying to still grapple with, like how to keep your home environment as part of almost like an extended node of the corporate WAN?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything's changed. And, when we all came home, those of us in this type of sort of work environment last year, and we were sort of thrown into, okay, it's your laptop, you're working from home now. A lot of those things weren't considered right away, right? And now thinking about those in the context of risk to your business, with the type of data that you have, risk to executives on your team, who could be having confidential discussions or information on home networks. It's a huge challenge, right? And it's one that we've been working to solve as an organization, but it's something that is going to be not going away in this world of hybrid work. It's important for us to all figure out and take it seriously.
Yeah, it's funny. I think when everybody started working remotely, they were more concerned about if their dog was barking versus, I left my IoT device unpatched and open up into my entire network, and I'm not connected in through a VPN or a zero trust connection into some cloud app that we built, right? So it's funny how that's kind of come full circle. Within your kind of purview, like what type of employees, do you think need to continue to develop in this ecosystem? Because I always feel like there's a huge shortage in your line of work around security. And what if you were to give advice to folks that some of our customers that may be considering making the leap from, say, core infrastructure to security, any advice that you'd give folks, whether they're early in their career or late stage, things that you've kind of learned along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. The skill sets that are required within security are complex. And, I think about it sort of differently as far as the different needs that I have within my org. And my org includes both the security and the compliance and the IT help desk, which is a trend that you're seeing with many CISOs starting to own that component as well. And I think there's been a trend, particularly on the engineering side, to have cloud security engineers or security engineers that really have a deep understanding of some of the models that have been changing, right? Do you understand Kubernetes and container architectures? Do you understand the different services within the cloud providers at AWS or GCP? If you're at a larger company that has on-prem and legacy, how does that translate? If you are moving to the cloud, and the types of things that you need to be doing. From a compliance perspective, the skill sets are also very specialized as well. There's always emerging audit standards and things coming out. But the way that I try to think about it and address it is, if we do the security first and we do it right, and we do it in a way that partners with the entire organization, that we can fill in the right skill sets in security. And it's hard to find them, but when you do, it makes the whole program work, and it makes your company stronger.
Yeah, well, I think that's also part of the leadership aspect of it. I mean, I've witnessed firsthand, you taking all, obviously there's the technical component, but being a good executive leader, I think I've witnessed firsthand in a couple of your companies that, you're definitely a rare breed in some instances. So I commend you for that, because to your point, you can't always find the exact fit. And so how do you coach someone up in the organization to master not only the technical aptitude, but being able to handle all of the soft skills from that perspective. So you've done a great job.
Well, thank you. It's an art, not a science.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Having built teams before, it's every person's different, but I think especially in these times, building that culture of, having the opportunity to learn new technology, be challenged, problem solve, and have things that, fall out of the woodwork at times. Yeah, we need to be FedRAMPed, and that's not something that everyone gets exposed to. So, I think that's exciting, and congratulations on all that.
Thanks, Gary.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time today, Brian, and I'll put a little contact blurb in terms of how to reach your website and your company if anyone's interested to learn more. And really appreciate it, Brian. And have a great day.
Okay, great. Thanks, Gary. You too.
Thanks.